Hi, guys. It's 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and this is KJ's What Happened. Looking back on the past week, some of the stranger things that have happened. Weirdness, randomness. But sometimes it seems like every week we're finding more and more pieces to the puzzle. The bigger puzzle. What this beast system is really manifesting here lately. You know, I'm not super political or anything, but there's some political news in here tonight. But wow, there's so much going on, man. I mean, it's really got me thinking. I mean, I've been doing this for years, but I did a video a few years ago about civil war, about the preparing of a civil war here in America. A lot of people have done videos on that subject. But now, man, more than ever before, I'm clearly seeing the lines. A lot of what I was seeing back then has already come to pass. Now, though, wow, it's really heating up. We'll talk about some of that tonight. How are you, by the way? I hope you're doing well. Sorry we had to push this back a night. I had to leave town this weekend for a bit, so I just got back a few days ago, so I needed a day just to kind of take care of business here. I've also got, I need to do a show, and I'm going to do it either Friday night or Saturday night. It's just going to be a hangout with us. It's just going to be like a Q&A thing. I used to do these a lot in the past, where I'm just going to be kind of hanging out with you guys in the chat room. Any questions, any subjects you want to bring up, feel free to throw them out there, and we'll just have an open discussion. It's been a long time since we've done that. I say a long time. It's been like I think a few months. It's been a little while, so I want to do another one of those and just talk to you guys and touch base with you. And, you know, we'll get more into some of this stuff about the Civil War, about really how the Antichrist spirit is really manifesting in people all around us. Again, I'm not a super political kind of a person, but there's a big difference right now in America, at least with politics, when you look at the left and the right. Like the right is basically weak and non-existent, and then the left is extremely, it's becoming more extreme, Marxist. It's becoming violent. We'll look at some of that tonight. Chubbs is here. He's not in kitty lockdown, so we'll kind of see how that goes. It's pretty much rolling the dice when we got Chubbs out of the cage, but, you know, we'll see what happens. Hopefully he can be a good boy tonight. Anyway, man, thank you for being here. As always, I'm KJ. This is my show. And let's take a look back on some of the stranger things that happened this past week. Here's one right here. Woman marrying her duvet reveals details of lavish wedding ceremony. Eek! A lot of this kind of stuff's happening as well, where people are marrying. A lady married herself a while back. A lady married a bridge. People are marrying trees. Humanity, man. What happened to us, right? The woman is planning to marry her duvet. She claims it's the most intimate and reliable relationship she's ever had, which is a sad statement. Pascal Selleck, 49, is organizing a lavish ceremony with the help of a wedding planner to celebrate her love for the bedding. The artist, who describes herself as rude, crude, spectacular exhibitionist, issued an open invitation to anyone wishing to celebrate with her. She said, "My duvet is the longest, strongest, most intimate, and reliable relationship that I ever had, and that's because it has always been there for me and gives me great hugs." There she is, with the duvet she's going to marry. I love my duvet so much, I would like to invite people to witness my union with the most constant, comforting companion in my life. There will be music and a ceremony, laughs, and entertainment. This is kind of random. I'm just going to throw this out there. One of the friends I went and visited this past weekend is a good girlfriend of mine. I've known her for years. Like, her mom and dad are 3 houses down from my mom and dad, so we really kind of grew up together. And she got married real early in life, like 18 or 19, and that didn't last but a couple of years. After that, she just decided against it, against marriage. And there's a lot of people in my generation, the Gen Xers, that didn't get married, don't want to get married, and don't want to have children. All that being said, though, and I can say this because she doesn't listen to my show. She's not even into this kind of stuff, so we don't even talk about, anything like this when I'm around her, really. And like I said, I know she doesn't listen to my show, so I can bring this up. She did something I thought was really sad. It was a real sad statement. To me, it was. I didn't say anything to her. But we went out. We were getting groceries because we cooked one night when I was over there. And she wound up buying flowers for herself. And I get that. Sometimes I actually will buy, I like plants. I bought flowers before in the past just to have something nice in the house for a week or so, however long they live. But I just thought that was kind of sad, she's been buying flowers for herself for a really long time. She wasn't acting sad when she did it, nothing like that. She didn't seem bummed out. She wanted something pretty for the house. She's a pretty girl, makes a lot of money, has a great career, very smart. She's very fun to hang out with. But, like myself and like so many other people in my generation, I've found, have a hard time finding love, like real love, like that twin flame type love, a really solid, good relationship, something that's worthwhile. It's really hard to find that person these days. I always thought it was just me. Not so much. The older I get, the more I look around, I see more and more of us. And sometimes it's so hard to find real love and to find that connection with somebody. You just give up, as time goes on. A lot of people do. Anyway, just throwing that out there. At least my friend's not marrying her duvet, I guess. That's a good thing. So there you have it. But I feel like a woman should never have to buy flowers for herself. Again, I never said that to her. I didn't offer to buy them. I guess I could have done that. Man 54 watches his computer icons, quote, leap off the screen because of rare Alice in Wonderland syndrome triggered by brain cancer. A man who went to the hospital after seeing desktop icons jump out at him from his computer screen turned out to be harboring a deadly brain tumor. The unnamed 54-year-old was diagnosed with the rare Alice in Wonderland syndrome when he explained his visual disturbances to doctors. Named after the hallucinogenic world of Lewis Carroll's novel, Alice in Wonderland syndrome alters how people see their own body or space and objects around them. In this case, a potentially fatal cancer in the patient's brain was pressing on the area which controls vision and producing his peculiar symptoms. The man, believed to have gone to a hospital in Rome, told doctors he saw icons on his computer screen moving slowly out of the screen towards him. Can you imagine that? I used to do shrooms back in the day. Haven't been around them in forever. I don't even know where you'd find shrooms now. I used to love them, though, long time ago. And things jumped off the screen when I was doing shrooms. I'll say that. He says they would hover there, these things coming off of the screen. They would hover there between his face and the computer for about 10 minutes before disappearing off to his right side. He also noticed his senses were not working as well as usual, and he had a pulsating, intense headache, felt sick, and experienced pain and bright light. After being transferred to the neurology department, the man had an MRI which revealed he had a high-grade glioma, a fast-spreading and deadly brain tumor. Doctors believe this is the first case of Alice in Wonderland syndrome being caused by a tumor in this way. The condition is usually associated with epilepsy, drug use, migraines, psychiatric diseases, or brain infections. But cancer causing damage to and putting pressure on parts of the brain can present any kind of neurological symptom. The man's MRI revealed he had an inch-long tumor in the left temporal occipital region of his brain. Interesting. Alice in Wonderland syndrome. Never heard of that. Very interesting. Can you imagine? This one right here. This is what I'm talking about with that rise of the Antichrist spirit, with the extreme differences between the left and the right. Again, the right basically being non-existent. And then the left being super extreme, like dangerously extreme. And you got this, of course, you know, this is the rising star for the Democrats, this one. Alexandria Acacio Cortes. I'm not really going to get much into the article. It's just something I wanted to share. She was on Stephen Colbert, I guess the Late Show. I cannot even stand that guy. I can't watch any of these late night people in America. I just can't do it. That's where you really see massive programming, and also a lot of what they call NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. That's mainly in a lot of the news, like a lot of the fake news out there. A lot of the talking heads do NLP. Look up NLP if you're not familiar with what that means. Neuro-linguistic programming. Anyway, man, this is a little rising star right here, and she is a knucklehead. I mean, a head full of rocks. Seriously, dumb as a box of hair, this one is. A moron and an idiot. And I'm not being mean. I'm just telling you the truth. You should see some of the things that come out of this one's mouth. But she's a rising star for the new left in America, the extreme left in America. And they love her. You know, these are the kind of people that the media in America love and promote and push, right? These wackos, these extreme left whack jobs. So we'll see what happens. Pretty gal, don't get me wrong. I've always liked the Hispanic ladies myself, just throwing that out there. Big fan. Pretty gal. Crazy eyes. Eyes as black as the devil's soul. Eyes as black as the devil's heart. But pretty girl, you know, evil eyes, crazy knucklehead, but pretty gal. Cute face. Cute face. I got a story about her coming up we'll read. We'll get a little more into. Pretty gal. Dumb as a box of hair. But she looks good. She looks good. Subway riders demanding answers as cities homeless continue taking over train cars. I think this might be a news story. Yeah, this is. Or like a clip we can watch together. So let's check this out. See what this here is all about.
Or into their home, filling it with bags, boxes, and clothes on the floor. In another, benches being used as beds. Edwin Rivera says it's why he has trouble finding a seat on the 2 train from 149th Street and 3rd Avenue in the Bronx to his job near Columbus Circle.
5:30 in the morning, you get in the car, there's somebody sleeping there. 2, 3, 4 persons sleeping in different cars. The smell is terrible. Sometimes they defecate on themselves, and that's you have to leave that car.
Samuel Santos says it also happens on the A train when he gets on at 181st Street.
A lot of time is standing because you don't want to sit down.
F train commuter Andrew Quinn says he's notified conductors.
They tell you they're just like, I know and I've reported it, and they just have to keep the trains moving.
We showed the videos to NYPD Police Commissioner James O'Neill tonight.
Is the NYPD supposed to be stepping in here and getting these guys off the cars?
Yeah, you know, and as I look at these videos, of course, they're disturbing. You're not supposed to be laying down on the subway. You know, if you're taking up one seat, you're not committing any violations, that's fine. But there are things we can do. Doesn't necessarily rise to the level of a violation, a summons or an arrest.
I wonder if the police commissioner has been on the subway recently when they've seen this. I would like to see more police.
We showed the videos to the MTA. A spokesperson would not answer our questions and only referred us to the Bowery Residents Committee, a nonprofit that does outreach to the homeless on the subways.
That organization didn't return our calls, and no one from there or the NYPD could tell us what would rise to the level of police stepping in.
Somebody gotta, roll their sleeves, get out from their office, MTA, or the mayor's office, and help us.
And help the homeless. So
just sharing that, it's when I first saw this story, it made me think of how in many ways America itself is turning into a third world country. And it's always these, again, it's always these very liberal type cities. You know, San Francisco, they got people, they have a major issue out there with people pooping all over the place. There have been a lot of mainstream stories about that. People just walking around, taking a dump, you know, wherever they want to, pee-peeing on everything. Really a kind of a metaphor in its own way for what that city's all about. Maybe always has been and is turning more into. But yeah, it's interesting how this stuff is happening here. I lived in New York for a while. Subways are pretty scary if you'd never been on them before. Never saw that, though. Never saw people sleeping on the trains or on the cars. Did see some pretty weird stuff. I wound up, one time I got off the subway, and there was a grocery bag right there at kind of the entrance to the subway, or the exit, entrance and exit outside and into the subway. It's a grocery bag filled with pornography, with porn DVDs. No, I didn't take it home with me, but filled with DVDs, stacked to the very top. I stayed with my cousin when I lived up there. We walked right by it. I was like, dude, look at this. And I picked up a couple of them to see if anything was in there, and they were in there. So it's like somebody just sat randomly, a grocery bag in the subway, just sat it there, filled with pornography, filled to the top. Coming soon to a police station near you, the DNA Magic Box. We've talked about the dangers of these DNA tests and stuff here on the show for a long time. I don't know about you. That's something I would never, ever, ever do. And I was adopted. If anybody, you would think would want to do something like that, it'd be us adoptees or us adopteds. I don't know what the word is for that. Those of us who've been adopted. Yeah. I've thought about it in the past, of course, where do you come from and blah, blah, blah. But then as years go on, I don't care as much, I'm kind of glad to not know exactly who had me, but I also think that attributes to my kind of gypsy spirit I have. It's really hard for me to stay in one place for a long period of time. Even now, I told y'all I've been looking at the RV stuff. It's only a few months away. My lease is up here in May. I haven't re-signed anything new, and I've been looking at RVs. So I'm really thinking about doing it and just moving into an RV and doing that for a while and seeing how that plays out, At least that way I can move around and see new things and, have little adventures, I guess. Being too comfortable for me is not a good thing. I don't like being too comfortable. Things are great in life right now, and I appreciate that. I'm comfortable. I'm not wealthy or anything, but I have enough money to get by. I can pay bills. I can get groceries when I need, and that's okay, Live in a nice place. I'm close to family, stuff like that. But I'm bored, I hear Chubbs. Chubbs, no! All right, I may have to go grab it in a little bit. We'll see. But he's up there walking around where the medicine and everything is, my medicine. Knocking things over. I can hear him over there crawling around. But anyway, we'll see, man. So I get bored. I get bored real easy. And like even recently, I was telling my family, my mom and dad, that most days I feel like I'm just existing, like I'm not even really living. I feel like I just kind of exist. Maybe you feel that way. Some people call it feeling numb. And I don't want to seem depressing or anything to you. It's nothing like that, man. This is, this is beyond the heart attack stuff too. I was like this before I had the heart attack. I just get this way, man. It's like if I'm too comfortable, I don't know, like that bothers me for some reason. It's like I need to be challenged. I need to be inspired. I need to take some chances. You know what I mean? So we're going to take some chances, I think, with this RV thing coming up. Anyway, the DNA test. Don't do it. I wouldn't do it if I were you. Had a lot of stories here on the show over the last, I guess, year or so now. I think we've been doing this for about a year now, actually, because I think I started this in January of last year. We had a lot of stories have come out showing how police are using these, DNA tests. They're actually able to access those now through these private companies. With rapid DNA machines, genetic fingerprinting could become as routine as the old-fashioned kind. They call it the magic box. Its trick is speedy, nearly automated processing of DNA. It's groundbreaking to have it in the police department, said Detective Glenn Vadegrift. If we can do it, any department of the country can do it. Ben Salam is on the leading edge of a revolution in how crimes are solved. For years, when police wanted to learn whether a suspect's DNA matched previously collected crime scene DNA, they sent a sample to an outside lab, then waited a month or more for results. But in early 2017, the police booking station in Ben Salam became the first in the country to install a rapid DNA machine, which provides results in 90 minutes in which police can operate themselves. Since then, a growing number of law enforcement agencies across the country have begun operating similar machines. The science fiction future, in which police can swiftly identify robbers and murderers from discarded soda cans and cigarette butts, has arrived. In 2017, President Trump signed into law the Rapid DNA Act, which starting this year will enable approved police booking stations in several states to connect their rapid DNA machines to Cortes, the national DNA database. Genetic fingerprinting is set to become as routine as the old-fashioned kind. There you have it. There you have it. They want your DNA. They want it for a lot of different reasons, actually. Hey, Chubbs. Come here. Come here. Come on. This is when he starts acting. He's starting to act up a little bit. He's running around, knocking stuff over, being kind of a jerk, to be honest with you. I wish he'd calm down. Come here. Come on. You come say hi? Yeah? Come say hi? We going to the kitty lockup tonight or what? Huh? All right, go on. All right, he's not in the talking mood yet. We'll see what happens later, though. Keep my eyes on him. New York law is an open invitation to home invaders. Check this out. This is insane. There's a reason homeowners can rarely afford to dispense mercy on an overnight invader. Criminal intruders tend to be the dangerous type. What homeowners don't expect are law enforcers and prosecutors going after them for defending themselves and their loved ones. Queens resident Joel Christopher Paul faced a home intruder threat in the early hours of July 30th, 2017. The 27-year-old was home in Springfield Gardens with his mother, brother, and sister when someone attempted to break in. The intruder was Shamel Chavo. Wow, it's another cool name, Shamel Chavo. I like that name. But it almost sounds like a villain's name, too. Shamel Chavo. He's kind of a villain. He is the villain of the story. Shamel Chavo, 26, who had traveled north from Maryland after being named a suspect in a shooting there 10 days earlier. Expecting a pizza delivery, Paul's brother Michael, 16, went to the door and discovered Chavo trying to break in. Michael forced Chavo to the surrounding area and his mother called for help. Joel, adrenaline likely surging through his veins, answered the call and brought a bat and a knife to the confrontation. By the time it was all over, Chavo received the ultimate lesson in picking the wrong house. He died at Jamaican Hospital after being clubbed and stabbed. The confrontation had all the indications of a break-in gone wrong for the wanted man. And as one high-ranking police source told the Post, the response was justifiable. Both brothers avoided arrest and remained home after the incident. But months later, Queens DA Richard Brown submitted the case to a grand jury, bringing ruin upon Joel, who has been charged with manslaughter. A ham sandwich, as the saying goes, can be indicted in grand jury proceedings completely overseen by prosecutors. I've never heard that saying. As the saying goes. Well, you know what they say, a ham sandwich can be indicted in grand jury proceedings completely overseen by prosecutors. Right? Am I right? Am I right? You know what they say. You know what they say, a ham sandwich can be indicted in grand jury proceedings completely overseen by prosecutors. Right? The prosecutors shouldn't have targeted Joel. The stress, expense, and uncertainty of facing a first-degree manslaughter charge are devastating and can lead to an unjustified plea that could result in Joel going to prison. Part of the trouble lies with New York's retreat doctrine, a theory fit for law school classrooms. The doctrine holds Joel had a duty to run and hide if it was safe to do so. It's an obligation Joel, like the vast majority of New Yorkers, had probably never heard of. Yes, it's likely that the Queen's DA will pursue precisely this avenue at trial, since the indictment states that Joel, quote, with intent to cause serious physical injury to Shamel Chavo, unquote, caused his death. Shamel Chavo. Shavwo. Whoa. I like saying the name. It just rolls off the tongue. Shamel Chavo. But also the name of a villain. While most jurisdictions would have left Joel alone, the Queen's DA seems to want to resurrect the city's bad old days when prosecutors developed a reputation of interpreting laws in ways that protected criminals more than they protected the victims. There is also an abuse of prosecutorial discretion here. The DA should have recognized that Joel was forced to make split-second decisions involving defending his vulnerable family members. Even if Chavo was initially repelled, Joel had no time for a thoughtful inquiry into what Chavo would do next, unless he saw Chavo's backside running down the block. Brown's office should also review its own files to get a better sense of the devastation wrought by home invaders over the years. Such a search will reveal unsolved murders, sexual assaults, and general terror inflicted on mostly working-class victims. For a lesson in the threat posed by home invaders, the Queen's DA might also recall the notorious 2007 Cheshire, Connecticut home invasion that ended with the murder and sexual assaults of a mother and her two daughters, one of them just 11 years old. Other home invaders in this country have had remarkable runs, like the Golden State Killer, who allegedly committed numerous assaults in the 1970s. Closer to home, a woman in her 20s last week came home to her apartment from a Manhattan bar only to wake up to the nightmare of an unknown man who tied her up and beeped her. And what if Joel had acted less assertively and Chavo had grievously injured Joel's kin or killed one or more of them? Prosecution after the fact would have offered no relief. No, sir. No. Okay? Come here. Are we doing kitty lockup? Huh? All right. Sorry, guys. He's acting up naughty. He's being naughty. He's starting early, too. Man, it sucks. He was laying down. He was taking a nap. Everything was great. And then I started talking, and now he's up, and he's wanting his attention. Hold on a second. I think we have to do kitty lockup. Come here. Yeah. You know what time it is. Come here. Come on. Get in there. All right, guys, I'm really sorry. I think it's cute having Chubbs out. I love it. I want him to, this is his home too. He don't pay any bills, but this is his home too. I want him to run free. I want him to have fun, but he is kind of a dick. Pardon the expression, but he kind of is. And if he's not getting attention, he's very smart. He knows all the bad areas to get into, all the dangerous areas. So what can I do, man? Chubbs is in kitty lockup for a while. We'll see what happens. Maybe here in a little while I'll let him back out, okay? We'll see. Anyway, there's that story right there. It's crazy what they're doing with that. New York law is an open invitation to home invaders. It's crazy. Where is that? Let me see. There it is. There it is. Well, it's like the old saying goes, a ham sandwich can be indicted in a grand jury proceedings completely overseen by prosecutors. That just makes no sense to me. Southern Poverty Law Center, SPLC. You heard of this group? secretly admits white genocide is real and has been planned for a while. Well, it looks like they took that video down. Let me see if there's any other footage of this or another story on it. It says, while the image above is not from the SPLC themselves, apparently the video below is, and they didn't want this getting out. When I first saw this, the video was still up. Let me see. Let's try this. All right, let's check this out. Anyway, in a second, you may not know what SPLC is. You may not even care, but I'll show you in a second why you should matter, or why you should know. Let's see what they say here.
Very reason why we have the same increase in hate groups, or what seems to be going on, we didn't know.
That's too low. Anyway, these are the issues we can run into from time to time. But anyway, Southern Poverty Law Center. YouTube. But it's also just another one of those crazy, extreme left groups that are out there. But they got together with Google a while back. Let me see. Here we are. 2 police videos on YouTube. So this is one of the groups that's helping to police YouTube. SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center, confirms they're helping police videos on YouTube. Not videos about police, but, policing videos. In other words, censoring. SPLC is censoring videos on YouTube. Let's see what this says. Or not. It's running kind of slow. Let's not do that. Southern Poverty Law Center is confirmed.
You've been looking into the fact that Google is treating conservative news sites very different than liberal news sites. We're right now at the beginning, I think.
Sorry, guys. There we go.
Interesting and actually most worrisome stories in the entire tech industry when it comes to politics. Tell us what you found.
Well, conservatives feared this for a while.
Ugh. Sorry, man. This is running too janky, and that always gets on my nerves when that happens. I know, my CPU is probably maxed out. I got so many tabs open. Anyway, we'll just read some. But SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center, left-wing nonprofit, which has more recently come under fire for labeling legitimate conservative organizations as, quote, hate groups, is one of the more than 100 non-government organizations and government agencies in YouTube's Trusted Flaggers program. Yeah. So SPLC is one of the Trusted Flaggers. That should help you sleep at night, especially if you run a YouTube channel and you talk about things that don't fit the narratives, right? The Law Center declined to return several requests for comment, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I got the point across. It's the main thing I wanted to show you. Let's close this down. This page is running really, really janky here. YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, looks like I might have a video up here. Let's see what we got. Oh, okay. This is like a 7-minute long video. I'm not going to play this whole thing, but I thought this was really interesting. You can look this up for yourself. March for Life versus Women's March. Amazing differences. And again, that's what I was telling you. Like this past week, I've been thinking more along these lines. I've been looking at the right and the left in America and just kind of looking at the differences and how things have changed so much. I mean, what's liberal now in America, these aren't your grandparents' liberals, nor are they your parents' liberals. I mean, it's changed so much. It's gotten so extreme. And they really detailed that exceptionally well in this video, March for Life. And this is pretty recent. It's from January 28th. So, yeah. Oh, no, it's not. Duh, it's from January 28th, 2017. I think this is the one I was looking at right here. There's a new one from this year. You can still look at this one, though. They did another one this year, though. I think it's right here. Let's go to his channel. I was watched that one as well. Oh, here it is. 2 marches, pro-life versus pro-abortion. Another example, though, and this one's from January 20th, 2019. So this is recent, it's a few days ago. And the differences are, quite astounding, I'd say, between March for Life and then the Women's March. So just check that out sometime. I'm not going to play it, but it's kind of sad too, man. Like I said, I mean, the two sides, that false left-right paradigm is, if ever it's been weaponized, like now is the time. And for so many years, people have fallen into that, choosing a side. I have to choose a side. And now it's so extreme. And they're controlled in their own ways anyway. I mean, that's one thing that Trump, whether he meant to or not, really exposed. Go back and check out that, was mainstream news, but it was Newt Gingrich back when Trump was still in the process of running. Gingrich came out and said he'll never win because he's not a part of the secret societies in Washington. And he put it right out there. He's not a part of the secret societies in Washington. He's not one of the Masons, right? Probably a part of another group. I mean, there's a lot of symbolism around him. There's a lot of symbolism in a Trump Tower and all that as well. I don't know. That's just kind of speculating on him, but he does have some interesting symbolism there in Trump Tower. But anyway, man, so yeah, so that's what he's done now that he's here, and it also falls in line with, the fifth age, the last age of man, the end of the age of Pisces, and then entering into the age of Aquarius, if you will. We've been programmed for that for a very long time as well. The last age of man. And the age of Aquarius, one big difference between that and the age of Pisces is it's not a time of order. The age of Pisces was a time of structure and order, and all that's falling away in the age of Aquarius. I know I'm not some hippy-dippy new ager or anything. I just understand some of this. And also, you can find this kind of stuff in the Farmer's Almanac. Have you ever looked in the Farmer's Almanac? Talks about things like this as well. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm rambling a lot tonight. I'm sorry. Back to business. Back to business. Let's get back to business here. I'm in a rambling mood tonight, I guess. And then, Chubbs being such a punk. Like, I want him to be out here. I like having Chubbs with me. But I'm telling you, man, he can be a real a-hole sometimes when he wants to. Tonight's one of those nights. Minnesota high school basketball team can't play in tournament after fans hoisted Trump flag at game. This is, again, what I'm talking about. This is how, look, my mind can be all jumbled and stuff when I'm putting things together. It's just the way I think and I put stuff together. But when I do these shows, there's no filter. I'm just kind of talking out the way I see things and the way things are coming together for me. So forgive me if I can get a little jumbled from time to time. But, I see all this as the Antichrist spirit. I see all this as a true civil war in America, another civil war coming. The divide, we've never seen a divide like this, and people are so triggered. They're so triggered by Trump, right? And there's tons of stories on this. I cover it every week because it's happening all the time now. People are so triggered in general, especially over these politics, over the left versus the right. So the dividing line's there, and we're getting close. And there's calls for violence, from the left. I think I've got some stories on that tonight as well. You probably, of course, you saw the one real popular one. What is that with the We don't need to read this story. It's the headlines of the story. But what was it? Those kids, the Catholic kids, MAGA, right? So you've seen this. This one is really interesting to watch play out. Let's see here. Because it's really interesting to watch this whole thing play out and see what's happening. If you ever saw the original footage of this, like those kids didn't do anything wrong. They were actually getting harassed by the Hebrew Israelites. And maybe I can find that video. Maybe most of y'all probably haven't seen that. They're definitely not going to play that on the mainstream media. But they were all out there. I guess they were waiting for their bus to show up, these kids, and the Hebrew Israelites started calling them out. Next thing you know, this guy, who's an actor, he's literally an actor. He's in a music video. But this Indian guy over here walks up with his drum, starts banging it in front of this kid's face. And this is like a little kid, like a teenager. So he stands there awkwardly smiling, and then this whole thing went viral, and now it's, again, everyone's all triggered. Look how evil these white Christians are. That seems to be the narrative they're playing out. I've seen people speculating on what this really means, that this is connected somehow to Ruth Bader. Is that her name? Yeah, Ruth Bader. RBG, Ruth Bader something. What's her name? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The Supreme Court Justice, the lady, she's been sick and kind of missing in action for a while. A lot of people think she's on her way out. So people are drawing these conclusions and saying that apparently Trump's next pick is going to be this Catholic lady. So they're trying to start the narrative right now out of this about how white Catholics are bad, right? And I guess we'll see if that's how it plays out. But that's one connection I'm seeing a lot of people trying to make. And maybe that is what's going to happen. Because this whole thing is just crazy. This guy, the Indian guy, is also involved in stolen valor, which is really disgusting and pathetic when you lie about your military service, especially when you lie about combat military. And that's sickening. And he did that as well. But again, there he is. But, again, all of this stuff, and even CNN, of course, Native American mocked by MAGA hat-wearing teens, is how they're pushing all this. Not even the truth. All this isn't even true. This is the world we're in, though, now. You see the tools on the nighttime talk shows in America, every one of them, I'm sure, talking about this, about how these kids are bad. And everywhere you see this narrative playing out. I mean, when I say, Lord, get me off this rock, I'm not kidding around. I would really not even rather be here for all this kind of stuff. It makes me sick. It makes me sick. The level of deception, the lies, all around, not just this, just in general. And I've been looking into it and exposing it in my own way for, over 10 years of my life. So, of course, I don't want to be on this rock anymore. I want to go back home, But, we make the best of it. We do the best we can with what we have here, and we find our peace. And I'm grateful to have this. I'm grateful to have YouTube. I'm grateful to have an audience, and this is what I do. And this is where I find my peace of mind, is doing this kind of stuff. So I'm just grateful that you guys are here with me. Thanks. Anyway, there's that story. Still developing. But it's just, I'm telling you, I'm being pushed more and more, that narrative as well. I see it, the new Civil War. Here she is. Here's that one. Pretty girl, crazy eyes. Dumb as a box of hair. Acacio, Cortes, and other progressives named a House Oversight Committee. They're really pushing this. They're wanting war. I mean, do you realize what they just did with this? 4 progressive Democrats were named to the House Oversight Committee Tuesday night. The 4 new Democratic members are all members of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. With the now Democrat-controlled House, the Oversight Committee will act as an even stronger check on the Trump administration. 3 of the 4 newly selected members of the committee are freshman members of Congress. The 3 congresswomen have been particularly critical of Trump. Most recently, Tlaib made headlines when she called Trump a mother effer. Anyway, here's the story. It's war. I mean, it's getting so ugly politically, right? It's getting so ugly right now, how this whole thing is playing out. Some people think that, Trump's a part of it. Some people think that he's the answer. No matter what, that was a motorcycle. I live out here in the country, but kind of by a highway, and that was really freaking loud. But anyway, there you go. There we have it. They're really pushing this narrative, and they're really pushing the hate, and they're really heating it up. It's why I can't get into politics much. It so pisses me off, when I start looking at some of this stuff. I'm sure a lot of you are that way as well. And it's because it's meant to do that. It's why I can't get trapped back in it. But sometimes I'll find myself, kind of looking back into it again. And you get mad. It's just so many lies. What's his name? The new season of Big Brother just started, Big Brother Celebrity Edition. I know a lot of you probably don't watch that or anything. Some of you know I worked on that show many years ago when I lived in LA, in Hollywood. I worked on a bunch of reality TV shows, and Big Brother was one of them. It was like seasons, I don't know, it was a long time ago, like over 10 years ago. And it wasn't, this is before I woke up to stuff that I'm into now. But even back then, it wasn't like Illuminati, MK Ultra, and all the symbolism's obviously there, but it's a TV show that they were just copying from Great Britain. Of course, it does have a lot of the beast system symbolism all around it, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, so I worked on it many years ago, and since then I still watch it. It's just kind of because I worked on it for, so long ago. I worked on a few seasons of it. Some people I knew back then still work on it to this day. So I don't talk to them. I don't know anybody out there in LA anymore, but just throwing it out there. So there's a guy that's on there in the Celebrity Edition this season. Gosh, what was his name? Mooch. That's his nickname. They call him Mooch. And he worked with Trump for, I guess, like a few weeks before he got fired. But he's on the show. And last night, Tom Green's on there as well. Tom Green was asking him about working for Trump and if Trump drained the swamp. And this guy said the swamp in Washington's undrainable. Which I know that's not some big, whoa for everybody out there, but still, it's that means something. It's subtle, it's small, but it's right there, and it goes to show you, that obviously, Washington D.C. is just corruption from top to bottom. And look, here's the deal: some of you aren't going to like hearing things like this, and some of you don't agree, and that's fine too. We all have our own kind of views and beliefs, but to me, none of this is going to get better. I mean, we are in the end times. That's what I believe. And all this stuff is manifesting. This is the beast system, and it's going to get worse because all this hate and all this calling for violence, like there's all these people calling for violence on those Catholic school kids. People were doxing them, trying to find out where they lived and all this other stuff, right? So it's getting really ugly, and people are calling for violence and hatred. And I've talked about this in the past. I did a video not long ago called First the Statues, Then the Churches. And that's exactly what I was talking about. And it's happening right now, even more. Is all this hatred for the right that we're seeing, right? That's all going to eventually, that's going to manifest into hatred for Christians. We haven't fully gotten there yet. They're not admitting it or saying it yet, but it's on its way. Like that's where that's going to head. It's where the ground is fertile for the Antichrist. We're still waiting. I feel it's close, but for him to be revealed. And you can see now where there's people in this world who will be willing to kill Christians. Right? There's people out there who are willing to kill right now over these political games, these weird narratives they're playing out. There's people out there willing to do violence, and they want to kill, and they hate. They want to see it all burned down. And this is actually, I have a video, should be ready tomorrow. It's called All of These Movies Are Hiding the Same Secret Message. And it kind of has to do with what I'm talking about right now. No spoilers. I don't want to spoil anything. I want you to watch the video. I want you to watch the video. With all kidding aside, it has to do with this. I always say there's a dividing line happening right now. It's the sheep and the goats, or the wheat and the tares. I've had people write me and get mad at me when I say that. I don't even fully understand why. That I'm judging or something. It's not that. My eyes are open. Don't you see it? People are choosing evil. They're embracing it. And then some of us are choosing the other side. And it's happening now. Unlike anything I've ever seen in my lifetime. You can feel it, right? You can see it. You can feel it. People are choosing their sides. Here's a YouTube video for us to watch together. Oh, cool. Yeah, I've got some paranormal ones this week. Some decent paranormal and supernatural. UFO fireworks. Check these out. These are not Chinese lanterns, by the way. It's always such an easy excuse for people. My question is, have you ever actually seen Chinese lanterns and how high they go? They don't really go. And how long they last, what they look like when they're dying out. Most likely no, if you think these are all Chinese lanterns. But this is all, again, I cover these orbs a lot, and I cover these types of UFOs. I believe these are demonic interdimensional beings. Disemboweled spirits, demons. Fallen ones. And these kinds of sightings are on the rise. We're seeing more and more of these all around the world. I've been showing all that for quite a while myself. Anyway, we'll check some of this out here. And all around the world, a lot of times they'll act the same way, like this one. You'll see more and more keep turning on and manifesting, and then some will disappear, and then they'll show up again. And this is over Taiwan, so this is like happening over major cities. They're duplicating. He's putting on a show. Anyway, there wasn't much there, but for years, I've been following that kind of footage. I've made a lot of videos about these kinds of things. And so many times they'll act the same way. They'll be similar, but not always. There's always new types that come around as well. We saw that footage from the, where was it, Milwaukee news station. I connected that, one of my past videos, I connected that with the purple skies because we saw it there as well. And then a third time, I think it was in Istanbul. And that's one I found later after posting that video of these UFOs that look like, seriously, like giant sperm in the sky or something. It's strange. They look like they're swimming up in the sky. Some of y'all probably saw those videos. Let's see what we got here. Oh, looks like we have YouTube again. Let's see what we have this time around. More UFO stuff. Yeah, these are cool. I'm going to wind up doing a separate, smaller video on these, but I'll do it and put it up my website about the diamonds in the sky. I've showed these in the past. The diamonds in the sky, it's another example of these things. Lucy in the sky with diamonds, Rihanna, shine like a diamond, all that, right? But Jay-Z doing the diamond, but that's also the as above, so below, right? It's the as above, so below paradigm. The black and the white checker tile floor, same thing. Duality. But we see a lot of these diamonds actually manifesting in the sky all around the world as well. So, again, I believe these are demonic interdimensional beings. These are fallen aliens, what I call them. Fallen angels. Check some of this out.
Oh, come here. Oh my God. Here's another one.
think you get the gist. Let me show you another example of these things. Let's see. What was it? Pasadena. Diamond. UFO. Yeah, this is a good one. This is crazy. This is from a while back. Check this out. 9 years ago. But look at this one. Looks like there's an eye inside of it. Gets closer. Check this out. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Demonic, shape-shifting interdimensionals. Fallomans.
Ты знаешь, вот тут он не разделяется.
Russia.
Нет, ну, знаешь, вот смотри, он разделился.
Папа, ну посмотри в камеру.
Смотри, опять сходится.
Слушай, а что у нее в центре такое закруглое?
Pretty wild, eh? Bangladeshi tree man dreams of cure as rare skin disease returns. Check this guy out, man. Let's see if there's a closer picture here. A Bangladeshi dubbed tree man because of bark-like growths on his skin will need aggressive surgery to remove them, doctors said, after dozens of attempts failed to cure the extremely rare genetic condition. It's believed fewer than half a dozen people worldwide have tree man syndrome, but the condition is particularly aggressive in Abul Bajandar, who has already undergone 25 bouts of surgery since 2016 to remove the greenish-gray gnarled protuberances from his skin. Let me see if I can get a better picture of this for you. There's some. Tree man regains use of his hands after groundbreaking surgery. Bangladeshi father dubbed tree man because the bark-like warts once covered his body will soon be able to leave the hospital after groundbreaking treatment for one of the world's rarest diseases. I was hoping to find a better picture, but I don't see a picture. It's a story. There we go. Looks like he's had the surgery, though, so that's cool. Right? Guess that's a picture right there of it. Whoa. Whoa. Tree man. Groot. But sounds like he got the surgery, or looks like he got the surgery. Underwent some successful surgeries. Yeah, I'd say it's much better. Look at that left hand. Okay, there you go. Look at that. Much better. Rio to test facial recognition cameras during carnival. Of course. So we're just seeing this stuff spread all over, aren't we? They're starting it up in airports in America. That's been a big news story recently. They're, of course, doing it in China. China's social credit system, part of that as well. Now we see it going to Rio. So, I mean, it's just, this is the beast system manifesting more and more. This is going to be the grid, the prison bars all around you. You don't accept the mark, there's going to be a lot of different ways they can track you and try to find you, right? Like the Running Man or something. Saturday Night Live writer offers oral sex for anyone who punches MAGA kid. So same thing. That's what I was saying earlier. You're getting into this stuff about violence. Like it's acceptable now to these news stories. And if you disagree with a political side, now it's becoming acceptable to push violence. And that's just gross. I think it's lewd, I'm old fashioned, man. I don't like, hoity toity kind of whorish behavior, if you will. I'm not into it, man. I'm old school, I guess. And that's probably why I'll eventually die single. But still, SNL writer offers oral sex for anyone who punches MAGA kid. So lewd, right? This chick says, I will blow whoever manages to punch that MAGA kid in the face. And that's the kid from right here, the smiling kid, right? But that's the time we're in. We're in a time where people see it as okay to push violence like this, right? I've said this in the past. I really used to twist my mind up. I'd think, if we really are kind of in end times, and if we really are going to see a time of the mark of the beast, and if we really are going to see a time where there's going to be public beheadings and executions, who are the people that are going to be spitting on the people who are getting their heads chopped off, who are going to be cheering this stuff on? Where are these people? Who are these groups? This is years ago. I used to wonder about this stuff. Now I find myself in 2019 with the answer, I feel. Like I'm seeing that spirit manifest in more people. I know you are too. It's part of the whole narrative that's playing out before our very eyes. People are becoming more hateful and cruel and violent and evil and demonic, for real. Anyway. And lewd, right? Just gross. Here's another one of those we've been talking about for years. Now we see it in Daily Mail. We see it in more mainstream newspapers, but we've been tracking this for a long time. It's the rise of Satanism in America. They first cropped up seemingly out of nowhere about 6 years ago, adorned in black capes with curved devil horns affixed to their heads, holding posters and black American flags as they shouted, "Hail Satan," on the steps of government institutions from Arkansas and Florida to Oklahoma and Detroit. I filmed that one in Oklahoma, by the way. You guys may have seen that on my channel. Go check it out sometime. But I filmed that live. They had a massive black mass in Oklahoma City, and I went and filmed all the groups out there that were protesting. The antics and declarations seemed like a hoax to many onlookers and journalists and politicians alike, until it became apparent that members of newly formed the Satanic Temple were here to stay, and they were growing exponentially. Since their founding in 2012, the organization is in 2012 when the awakening started. That's funny. I really do believe something happened. I lived with a bunch of musicians in Austin, Texas during 2012, and one of the guys was convinced that it had something to do with like South America and the ascension and all this other stuff. And of course, nothing like that ever really happened. But 2012 is around the time my spiritual eyes, I feel, really opened up. It's also when I started experiencing the 111 phenomenon, which I still do to this day, and others have as well. But 2012 felt like a very important year, even for my own walk in this, my own research, my own experience. 2012 was very important, I felt. So interesting that it's also the time that they founded the Satanic Temple. The organization has increased from a handful of members to tens of thousands. So, along with a mass awakening, along with a quickening, really, that feels like it's been taking place in these end times, this is right here, so I'm talking about. This is where you'll see that dividing line between the sheep and the goats, right? The wheat and the tares. People are falling into line. There's only two sides at the end of all this. That's it. They got chapters all over the U.S. and the globe, from Stockholm to London and Los Angeles to Texas. Satanic Temple, it seems, is becoming more and more firmly established across the United States, largely composed of individuals who don't even worship Satan in the first place, but center on a different interpretation of biblical teachings. That's also kind of the lie in this kind of hipster Satanism that we're seeing take place. That's one of the videos YouTube yanked from me. I've had so many yanked over the years, but I did a video years ago, probably around 2012 or 2013, about it. The hipster satanic movement. That's years ago, man. And that one got yanked or blocked worldwide. Anyway, the hipster Satanist, right? It's a thing. And they all tell themselves they're just atheists and they're doing this to upset Christians and whatnot. But even so, whether you believe or not, it's real, and you're still doing the devil's work. You know, you're still a slave to him. Anyway, rise of Satanism. Isn't it interesting? And in these years since 2012, we've seen the rise of Satanism. What else are we seeing? The rise of transgenderism, the rise of transhumanism. The devil can't create original life himself. So we're seeing these different things that he's able to do. AI, right? Artificial intelligence, sex robots, and stuff like this. It's crazy. And switching the genders around, twisting up humanity from its natural state, from man and woman to whatever you want to identify it as. Anyway, interesting article. I may put that in like a video or something here in the future. I'm sure I will, because this is happening. And I've been tracing it for a long time. And now we see it even here in mainstreamish Daily Mail, talking about the rise of Satanism in America. I'll grab a quick drink here. Hold on. I'm thinking I'm going to let Chubbs out. Let me see if he'll be good, okay? Hold on. I like when he comes and hangs out with me, you know? Not when he's being bad. I don't like when he's being bad. Right? Come on. Come on. Hi. Come here. Hi. You gonna be a good boy now? Huh? You gonna be good? All right, good boy. Eels in Thames. Am I saying that right? It's in London, right? But am I saying that right? In Thames? There's eels in that body of there's eels in that body of water left hyperactive due to high levels of cocaine. Eels in the Thames, I think it's right, are becoming hyperactive. We got that. New research by a team of King's College London found that Londoners are using the Class A drug consistently throughout the week, not just on weekends, with fears that it's hurting the river's wildlife. Concentrations of cocaine and benzos remained high in wastewater across the week, with only a minor increase over the weekend, which is not consistent with other cities. Wow, that's interesting that they track it like that, isn't it? London is known as one of the highest consumers of cocaine. Scientists using a monitoring station near the Houses of Parliament found there was a constant low level of cocaine entering the river, Sunday Times reported. London's water treatment plants are failing to filter out the Class A drug, while downpours are overwhelming waste plants and carry sewage into the water. Increases in caffeine, cocaine, and benzos were observed 24 hours after sewer overflow events. Wow. That I did not know. London is known as one of the highest consumers of cocaine. Why London? What's wrong with London? I've never been there. I'd like to go. I'd like to go to Europe in general. This one again, pretty gal, crazy eyes, dumb as a box of hair. Acacio Cortes on millennials, we're like the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. Again, this climate change silliness, right? This is part of Agenda 2030, the extension of Agenda 21. And through this fake climate change agenda, this narrative, this gives the elite, in their minds, a right to eugenics, right? And culling the population, all in hopes to take care of Mother Earth, Gaia. We're like, the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. So so that's why she's a fascinating character to me, because she's dumb as a box of hair, but she's been given a lot of power. It'll be very interesting to see what happens with all this. Dumb as a box of rocks. Pretty face, crazy eyes. Been given a bunch of power. Pamela Anderson says we've lost many good men to porn and PlayStation. Amen and absolutely. Meanwhile, she was in a PlayStation game and she's done porn. But still, the point remains. Let's check this out. Pamela Anderson had some interesting thoughts Sunday when she shared that prawn and PlayStation had caused the loss of many good men. Empty head disease, prawn and PlayStation. We've lost many good men to this gone, no return, the 51-year-old former Playboy Playmate tweeted to her million-plus followers. She's held up well, eh? I guess that's her nowadays. I don't know. Looking good. Talk to our children. As young adults, we can make our own choices, but it's a slippery slope. Kids can be brave. Rebel against it all. Nightmare, she added, before suggesting that men who watch prawn make the, quote, worst of lovers. Okay, so there's her tweet. The worst lovers watch prawn. Numb, desensitized, needing more and more variety, even violent, the Baywatch star wrote. Prawn is not what love looks like. Brave and radical men who read and who are engaged in the world are sexy. Vegans make the best lovers. It's proven. Whoa. Whoa. It's unclear at this point as to what sparked the thread attacking the industry. However, the barbed wire star is rarely shy and often speaks her mind about topics in the news. Most recently, she made headlines when she called out the Me Too movement and said it, quote, paralyzes men. She says, I think it paralyzes men. I think this Me Too movement is a bit too much for me, Anderson explained. I'm sorry. I'll probably get killed for saying that. My mother taught me don't go to a hotel with a stranger. If someone answers a door in a bathrobe and it's supposed to be a business meeting, maybe I should go with somebody else, she added. I think some things are just common sense. Or if you go in, get the job, I'm Canadian. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm sorry, I'm not politically correct. And there you go. Got a good point. Got a couple good points, I'd say. Right? Pamela Anderson. Holding up well, I'd say. Pretty gal. Pretty gal. More seriously, Russia's nuclear-capable underwater drone to be deployed. This will be a piece to a bigger video I'll do here in the future, because a lot of stories have been coming out pushing this narrative, and I believe it's a predictive programming thing about Russia, nukes, and tsunamis in New York City. I've been seeing a lot of these stories, so many that, again, I need to do a video here soon and just connect all the dots. And that's on the money as well, you know. Jonathan Kleck, friend of mine, did a money breakdown. Some other people have done money breakdowns as well, but I think his is the best to date, showing 9/11 all over our money. The New World Order, they took paper, they wrote their plans on it, and they called it money. That's what I've always said. They call it, here's money. Meanwhile, it's magic and the occult, right? Hidden before your very eyes, in our hands. We're part of the spell. Shows 9/11 destruction all over our money. If you didn't know that, look it up. There's 2 events that haven't happened yet, and one of those appear to be a tsunami in New York City, presumably caused by a nuclear weapon in the ocean. So we've been seeing a lot of these kind of stories popping up. I have over the last year. Remember, Obama even said, I'm more worried about a nuclear bomb going off in New York City. Like, oh, you just randomly throw that out there, right? Okay, sure. Okay. Russia's nuclear-capable underwater drone to be deployed. All right. Because they're most likely going to get blamed no matter what, whether they did it or not. Okay, which is probably going to be the Illuminati anyway. The same people that did 9/11, same group. But no matter what, either way, whether they actually do it or not, I'm pretty sure they're the ones that are going to get blamed. And that'll get us into a World War III. And then I'm guessing around that time is when the man of sin will be revealed, the son of perdition. I don't know the exact timetable. I am not sure. I'm no date setter. And I don't live my life in fear. Like, it's any day now, I do believe it could be any time. But I'm still here. I'm trying to live my life, right? You try to live it day by day, but the signs, everywhere signs. What? Get over here. Come here. Come here. All right. Let's see if he'll come talk to us in a little bit. Okay, we talk about the transgender stuff every week. I figured I'd throw this out there. U.S. Supreme Court allows Trump's transgender military ban to take effect. So I guess there's a ban on the transgender in the military there. Okay. Thought I'd throw that out there. Back to the whole narrative of the Civil War. I know I need to do a video now soon on the Civil War, or how they're prepping it, setting this up. Alyssa Milano says the red MAGA hat is the new white hood. Now, this isn't getting into, is all this stuff staged? Whatever, whatever the actual, right? I see most things as spiritual anyway. That's just the way I do. But I see this kind of stuff, and I'm not sitting here thinking, who's working with who and blah, blah, blah. I'm just seeing like this narrative pop up, and this is all stuff where people are getting triggered. They're triggering each other. They're pushing more for violence. We've been programmed for years with this whole Nazi narrative. Like, Nazis are basically the only bad guys you can have in movies anymore, it seems like, right? They're always the bad guys. But now and I wondered, I've done videos in the past like, man, we're getting a lot of this Nazi-type conditioning stuff. I've been seeing it for a long time. And now I'm starting to see why, ever since Trump became president, because they're associating it all with him. So that predicted programming for years, I mean, even before Trump even hit the scene, we're getting programmed with this Nazi stuff and this Nazi stuff. And now I'm starting to see, okay, I get it. It's all connecting with him. It's triggering these people even more. Now you got this knucklehead here, Alyssa Milano, coming out saying the red MAGA hat is the new white hood. So back to the Civil War, right? Back to the Civil War stuff. People are getting triggered. And she's, this is her talking about the Catholic boy thing, the Catholic boys and the Indian, and that whole setup, total setup. But she's saying without white boys being able to empathize with other people, humanity will continue to destroy itself. So this girl's just propelling a lie even more, adding more credence and truth to a lie. And that was hearted 83.5 thousand times. Over 42,000 people are talking about that. You got this guy straight. Look, the man that boy is harassing in the video is Nathan, and he's a veteran. All this stuff. Let me see if I can find the video of. I'm just curious if I can find this video here. Black Hebrew Israelites. Let me see if I can find the video of those guys out there. Give me a second. We're in no rush, right? We got nowhere to go. We're hanging out. Okay, let's see. Trying to find footage of what the Black Hebrew Israelites were saying to these kids. Maybe this is it. Of course the video is no longer available. Of course they're shutting that down as quick as they can. They don't want people seeing that. Come on, man. Really? YouTube already pulled all those videos? Are you serious? No way. There's got to be something out there. Let's see. I'll just go straight to YouTube. I'm curious. I just want to see.
Hey, YouTube, I'm Rick, and today we're going to check out some weird...
Oh, hi, Rick. Okay, here we go. Maybe this is part of it. It looks like that might be it right there. Okay, cool. All right, I think we found it. Now, let's take a look at the other side of the story here. So here's the Hebrew Israelites during this March for Life where the Catholic kids were, and this is, I think, just before the Indian stuff happened here.
You gotta claim your past, claim your true history, claim the Greeks, claim the Romans. The Greeks was a bunch of homosexuals, just like the Romans. You what? You part of sodomy? You look like the heart of sodomy. You work with me on the line. You see that? Behind the line. Scoot back, guys. Scoot back. He said he's a product of sodomy. Let's go. Just like got a line. Let's work the line. Just like the truck. It's fun. We get our line. Let's go. You got a line. We'll stay there. Because I know y'all a little younger than me. So let me show y'all something. Stay back. Go on YouTube, right? And you have to look it up for yourself. Check this out. I'm gonna give y'all something. Check this out. Go on YouTube and look up Donald Trump kisses drag. You're gonna see your president kiss Rudy Giuliani dressed in a drag. Who cares? Your president is a homosexual. Who cares? Is a homosexual. Let me show you what the Bible says about your country. Give me that. 10 and 6. Check this out. They're not going to read this in the Catholic Church. They're not going to read this in your Christian church. Check this one out. You got saved. Shut the church think. I was that I'm going to speak up. The Lord said he shall send us against a hypocritical nation. You make us swear on the Bible. You got on the Bible. You give faggots rights. The Bible condemns homosexuality, man. They're still humans. In
All right, there we go. So yeah, it looks like those are the kids. The black Israelites, black Hebrew Israelites. Good times, good times. Fun guys, fun group of guys, these black Hebrew Israelites. I mentioned that I'd gone out and filmed on location in Oklahoma City a few years ago when they had that black mass, and there's all these different religious groups out there protesting basically each other, really. I mean, it was more protesting each other than the mass at the end of the day, which I thought was interesting. But those Israelites were out there as well. You can find the video on my channel. I don't even know what I called it. Probably the Black Mass or whatever. I don't know, Oklahoma City. But you can see me talking to some of the Hebrew Israelites as well. Fun guys. Fun group of guys. You having a game night? Invite the Hebrew Israelites. You're going to have a ball. These are some fun people, okay? Let me tell you. Fun group of guys. Hawaii Rep. Ed Case apologizes for claim he's, quote, Asian trapped in a white body. Okay. Just more of this. The world has us focused on all this stupid stuff, right? Seriously. Here he is. Hi. Hey. Come here. No? Chubbs, you got a whole audience of people that would love to hear from you. You got nothing to say. All right, maybe later. He just walked by. You may have heard a meow in the background there. Anyway, just more of this stupid stuff. You know, people getting triggered over this kind of stuff. Right? It's like they've racism, right? It's racism is weaponized right now. And if you're found to be a racist, oh no, you know, right? I mean, it is the worst thing ever. Obviously, it's not a good thing. But it's weaponized. Racism is weaponized now. Look at this. Another thing, stupid things that people are getting triggered over. Google employees melt down over the word family. Presentation, according to internal documents obtained by the Daily Caller. Many Google employees became angry that the term was used while discussing a product aimed at children because it implied that families have children, the documents show. The backlash grew large enough that a Google vice president addressed the controversy and solicited feedback on how the company could become more inclusive. One employee stormed out of the March 2017 presentation after a presenter continued to show unicorn product features which continually use the word family as a synonym for household with children. He explained in an internal thread that employee posted an extended rant which was well received by his colleagues on why linking families to children is offensive, inappropriate, homophobic, and wrong. He wrote, let's check out this madness. This is a diminishing and disrespectful way to speak. If you mean children, say children. We have a perfectly good word for it. Family-friendly, used as a synonym for kid-friendly, means to me, you and yours don't count as a family unless you have children. Ugh. Ugh. Sissies, right? My feels got hurt. And while kids may often be less aware of it, there are kids without families too. You know, the use of family as a synonym for with children has a long-standing association with deeply homophobic organizations. This does not mean we should not use the word family to refer to families, but it means we must doggedly insist that family does not imply children. Wow, so unicorn underarm hair. It's something I saw this week. I don't even think I added it to the stories for the night, so I wanted to toss this out there because this is actually a thing. This is gross. Unicorn armpit hair is the newest bizarre beauty trend taking over the internet. Look at that. totally being inundated with the rainbow and with unicorn symbolism, right? It's all connected to, sheesh. Yeah. It's all connected to the LGBT movement as well. Like they really stole the original meaning of the rainbow, right? It was a promise from God. Now they use it to promote this silliness. And also a lot of really debaucherous type activity. Mom shocked when security camera appears to show ghost of late son. A mother who lost her son 2 years ago due to an accidental overdose believes his apparition appeared on her security camera to let her know he was happy. Jennifer Hodge of Atlanta, Georgia, was in bed watching TV with her 21-year-old daughter, Lauren, when she received an alert from her Nest camera, which is triggered by movement and noise, that a, quote, person was spotted in the entryway last week. Maybe we can get that video. Oh, yeah, if you don't know, I've got a I haven't been over. I'm over here quite a bit. I post everything, even stuff on my website. I even chat with people on Facebook a lot. So if you're not on there with me yet, go ahead and I never pitch my stuff like that. I don't know. I'm just not good at that. But come see me on Facebook, guys. Hey, I'm on Twitter too. You know, but really, if you want, come on over and check it out sometime. Anyway, it looks like the video's not on there, but there I am. See KJ OZBORNE on Facebook. I still have Costa Rica down as where I live. So come on by sometime. And come see me on Facebook. I'm also on Twitter too. I was hoping that she had a video. Anyway, ghosts, demons? Or do you think that perhaps every now and then God may allow like your mother to visit you in a dream, your past mother or your past father or another loved one to show up on a camera or something? You know, I wonder. And God's capable of anything. I wonder if God allows that from time to time, but I also know that demons are deceivers. Especially with her again. She teaches art classes at a Christian school, and this has become a story now. It's upset the LGBT community. So I'm just showing you this again to show you this is where we're heading. It's going to be more of the hatred towards the Christians, and this group and that group of people have been weaponized, right? They're weaponized. But a lot of it's going to be them versus the believers. That's what we're seeing shape up right now, right? More or less all around the world. You see it. I know you do. Mexican truckers fight highway robbery with armored semis. This is so crazy. I love Mad Max movies, by the way. The last one, though, was way too... I love the visuals of it, but the last one was definitely way too, I don't know, political, I guess you could say. Anyway, the speeding cars pull alongside a semi-truck, box it in, and force it to a halt. Then the robbers, firing AK-47s, hijack its cargo and make their getaway. Seems like something out of Hollywood, but it's happening on a daily basis on Mexico's highways. And the mounting dangers on the road have fueled a booming new business as the trucking industry seeks to fight back. Welcome to the world of armored and bulletproof tractor trailers. Which reminds me of Mad Max. Jorge Coronel is one of those trying to stop these highway robberies, which have more than doubled in Mexico since 2015 to more than 30 a day, according to figures from the trucking industry and the government. Coronel runs a company that specializes in transporting high-value cargo such as electronics, appliances, pharmaceuticals, and luxury clothes. Many insurance companies operating in Mexico will no longer protect such shipments unless they are transported in vehicles capable of withstanding assault rifle fire. It's a growing niche, Coronel told AFP. It's expensive. It's very expensive. But insurance companies are demanding armored equipment for shipments worth more than a certain amount. Mexico is caught in a seemingly never-ending spiral of violent crime driven by its powerful drug cartels and other organized gangs. First, the criminals branched out into fuel theft, which has cost state oil company Pemex billions of dollars. Now they're plaguing the country's highways. Mexican police received 11,425 reports of armed robberies, of cargo vehicles in 2017. Did you hear that number? 11,425 in all of 2017, or an average of more. To defend against the scourge, armored truck companies are coating tractor trailers in steel and putting bulletproof glass in the windows. It costs around $27,000 to equip a semi-truck to withstand AK-47 fire. But for many shipping companies, there's little choice. The trucking industry estimates it's losing $4.6 billion a year because of violent crime. Coronel has experienced the consequences firsthand. In 2017, one of his company's trucks were transporting a load of clothing when it lost contact with its escort in a dangerous area outside Mexico City. His team used remote control technology to bring the semi to a stop. As the robbers threatened the driver, the client shipping the merchandise decided to take no chances. The client told him to hand over the cargo and not put the driver at risk. Attacks are getting more sophisticated and also more violent. These days, they use cars in front to block the road, and then they pull up on both sides. They don't even try to damage the semi-truck. They go straight for the driver, he said. Crazy stuff, huh? I just looked down here on the bottom of the comment. Somebody said, coming soon to a highway in California. Mad Max Mexican edition. It's pretty wild, though, huh? I keep getting texts from people, my mods, telling me that I keep cutting out and stuff. Do I need to keep on going or do I need to quit? I'm not even sure. It always makes me nervous when I get these texts from people, from the mods. Do I need to just quit? Because I'll quit. We've gone an hour and 37 minutes. Or do I even bother continuing? I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and continue for a little bit. I'm hoping you guys can actually hear me. I'm just going to go ahead and continue for a little bit, and we'll see what happens, okay? But I'm good with quitting if I'm cutting out and you guys can't hear me. So hold on. Let's see. All right, let's see. If it's not these texts, it's Chubbs. If it's not Chubbs, it's the motorcycles. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to keep it together over here, right? I'm doing the best I can. Anyway, let's go and check this video out. I'm hoping that you guys even hear me and I'm being broadcast. But anyway, prepare yourself. This is from PETA. They're saying traditional masculinity is dead, and they're saying the secret to male sexual stamina is veggies. I'm not going to play all of this, I don't know, we'll see. But just look how far they went. We get the point. I think you've gone a bit too far, but okay, hold on. I'm getting more text here. Let's see. Now I'm doing okay. Now you can hear me. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Well, then if y'all can hear me, then I'm going to keep going, okay? So let's go ahead and watch some of this. That's about all we need to see. I just wanted to show you some. I'm not going to play the full minute. Stupid, right? Dumb, stupid stuff. But we're back to this whole thing again with this traditional masculinity thing as well. This is part of that narrative that's playing out, right? It's this attack on men. I've got an answer to that in one of my stories here as well, here in a little bit coming up. We'll see. But anyway, there's PETA being stupid. I'd hate to be a teacher these days, especially in these kinds of circumstances. But the lady right here, we're going to go ahead and play this here. We'll play this out. We'll watch it together. I'm hoping you guys even see me or hear me. It might just be me and Chubbs talking into a a vacant microphone, but whatever. Check this out. This person here in the pink top you're seeing right here on the screen, that's a teacher, and she's approaching a student about something. Let me see what the backstory is on this real quick. Okay, student walks right up to the teacher. What kind of da-da-da-da-da? I'm not seeing why. Maybe it doesn't matter. But just check this out. That's a teacher in the pink there. Watch this. Student she's walking up to discipline.
If you really want to fight, I'll fight you. But that stuff has nothing to do with me. Oh, you have to tighten up. I'm not getting suspended. Fuck you. I am not getting suspended.
Reason I'm showing you this, again, is listen to what the teacher keeps saying. I am not getting suspended because of you. I am not getting suspended because of you. Wow. Okay, here, watch.
All right, like I told you before. If you really want to fight, I'll fight you. But that stuff has nothing to do with me. Oh, you have to tighten up. I'm not getting suspended. Fuck you. I am not getting suspended. I am not getting suspended about you. 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 No, I'm not getting suspended over this bitch. I am not getting suspended. Hey! I'm not getting suspended.
I don't know. I mean, you know, what would you do for real? What would you do if you were a teacher and one of your students comes up, starts popping you in the face like that? Isn't that, I mean, I think that's a real statement. If this teacher keeps running away and saying, I'm not going to get suspended because of you. I'm not going to get suspended because of you. Really? Like, what kind of a world is this? I mean, sometimes you need footage like this to just clearly see how crazy things have gotten, right? Here's a YouTube video. Oh, okay. Here's what I was talking about. This is the response. So I think last week we showed that video from Gillette, you know, talk about toxic masculinity and all this, right? Anyway, here's the answer. So what is a man? A response to Gillette. I think this is like a watch company, but anyway, check this out. I thought this is really well done. Check this out.
What is a man? Is a man brave? Is a man a hero? Is a man a protector? Is a man vulnerable? Is a man disposable? Is a man broken? Is a man trying? We see the good in men.
I think that was a really good answer to that commercial, right? The other commercial totally shaming men and looking at the very worst aspects of men. And you get a commercial like this come around. I think that was a nice answer to it. Right? Eek! Britain's first multi-generational transgender family reveal 5-year-old is, quote, transitioning. Seriously, you know, like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, and I have to take a lot of breaks from this. You know, I do. It's another reason I left town this weekend to go see a few friends. But I just need to get away from all electronics even, and just the news and the stories and the videos and everything. I just got to get away sometimes for my own mental well-being, you know, for the peace of my own soul. This stuff is cancer. Hi. You want to say hi? Why don't you speak up for once? Maybe? No? Hey. Chubbs. What you doing? Why don't you say hi to the people? You're right here in front of the microphone. No? All right. Maybe later. Okay. He's being good. He's not getting into anything like he was before. He's being a good boy. I can't force him to meow, though. You know, I want him to talk to you guys, but I want it to be organic when he does. He's done it a few times, you know, like he and I'll actually have conversations, but I don't want it to be fake. You know what I'm saying? I could totally squeeze some meows out of him. I'm a pretty strong dude. I could totally just, you know, wrap my big hand right around his neck and just squeeze a little meow out of him for the audience, but I would never do that. I would never do that to my Chubbs. My Chubbs is my little buddy. Anyway, check this story out. 5-year-old stepson of a British woman who lives as a man. This stuff gets confusing. The 5-year-old stepson of a British woman who lives as a man with the child's mother is now transitioning to a girl. They also complain that they've suffered insults at the hands of people online and their neighbors, and they've also been reported to social services. Well, you should be if you're trying to talk your 5-year-old into transitioning to the opposite gender, right? They also complain, okay, we got that. What exactly these insults are was not specified in an article covering the couple on Heart. They're adamant, however, that they're not responsible for the child's gender confusion and that the transition is what's best. Speaking to the Daily Record, Greg defended claims that the couple had been encouraging Jaden in this transition to become a girl. He said, "We've had people saying we're using Jaden for attention and that she just wants to be a girl because I changed sex. It's ridiculous. Jaden knows nothing about my past. She just knows me as dad. Jaden is apparently adamant she is a girl and enjoys dressing up as Princess Anna from the Disney film Frozen." Greg continued, "They say it's cruel we let her wear a dress, but it's not more cruel to do nothing when you've got a kid who's so adamant she's a girl, she's ripping her hair off and banging her head off the walls." Right here, you see the classic logical fallacy behind the modern approach to gender confusion. No one is suggesting no one do anything when a child is genuinely confused about their gender. What we're suggesting is that pumping them full of harmful hormones when they're barely learning to tie their shoes may not be the best approach. There is no other case in which a person believes themselves to be something they're not, and the common medical treatment is to give them medication and plastic surgery to help them create the illusion that their delusion is true. This poor child is just that, a child, and a very young one at that. How can these parents be trusted to know what's best to do for him when they're clearly just going to go along with the widespread gender ideology based on their own bias? I hope someone's even listening. This is kind of a follow-up on this drag kid here, Desmond. I know y'all have heard about him. We've seen him here on the show quite a bit, but I wanted to do a follow-up. I've always been curious about this kid's parents. You never hear much from the parents. I've always wondered what the deal is there, and this article here has got a little bit about him. Let's see. Find some. Okay, I'll just go ahead and read some of the article here. It says, you may have seen a story circulating about a 10-year-old drag kid Desmond dancing at a gay bar while grown men throw money at him. We recently learned, however, that there is much more to the story of poor young Desmond. Not only is he being clearly exploited by his own parents and the adults who host and attend these events, but he also has a classically exploitative stage mom who's been using her child to beg for money. See, oh, there we go. See, this is what I need to know. I've been wondering, what's the angle with the parents, right? He's been rubbing elbows with drug users and convicted murderers. Most disturbing of all, however, is, and by the way, that's the guy here on the left side over here to Desmond, our left. He's a convicted killer and drug user. And you see behind him that poster there behind him with Rohypnol, a date rape drug, and looks like a little girl or a little boy skipping rope just above him, right? Most disturbing of all, most disturbing of all, however, is that, as his mother recently revealed, he is a special needs child who likely has little understanding of what he's being used for or what he's doing. As if any 10-year-old could really grasp the significance of performing in drag shows when you're still in elementary school. In an exhaustive article on the many concerns any decent person would have over Desmond's family life, American Conservative explains that, first of all, Desmond has a classic stage mom. Here's a video of Desmond performing the same act, imitating Gwen Stefani he did in Brooklyn at a gay bar in San Francisco this past October. Watch the clip, hooting and cheering men give him money as he prances around the stage. How many other times has this happened? Does that stage mom, Wendy, take her 11-year-old son to gay bars to perform for men all the time now? Where's Child Protective Services? Unless something has changed fairly recently, Wendy is unemployed. Last Christmas, some friends did a GoFundMe for her and the boy. They raised just over $2,500 to get them through the holidays. In 2016, Wendy did an interview with Bettina May, a burlesque performer and vintage stylist from whom Wendy took a class to learn how to find the pinup inside herself. It looks like Wendy is doing the classic stage mom thing, living out her own fantasies through her son. And that's not all. Both of Desmond's parents are unemployed, and family friends have been raising money for them via GoFundMe. While Wendy claims that it's impossible for her to find work and that Desmond's acts don't earn much money for them, the GoFundMe page for the family also claims that managing Desmond has taken up the bulk of Wendy's time. Gonna read what she said. Weird. Wow, we've almost been 2 hours. Still got quite a few stories to go, so hope you're still with us. Hope you're hanging in there. You haven't fallen asleep yet. Hope you can even hear me. For all I know, I'm talking into a dead microphone right now. It's biblical in Australia right now. Millions of animals die due to ongoing extreme temperatures and dry weather. So Hosea prophecy, perhaps, right? With all the animals dying. Thousands of birds have been found dead at one of Western Australia's most important inland wetlands. But the cause behind the mass kill remains a mystery. Meanwhile, hundreds of thousands of fish have died in Australia's Darling River conditions, and bats are falling from the trees in biblical proportion around Adelaide as a result of the extreme weather. Researchers and at least a few other people like you and me are concerned about other animals in the country as a new wave of very hot temperatures will hit Australia this week, and dry weather is predicted to continue. Weather war is raging out there, says this article. All those bats. Thousands of dead bats on the ground near Sydney. That's from January 27th, 2018. Okay. 1 week ago, hundreds of thousands of different kinds of fish have died asphyxiated in Australia's Darling River as a result of the extreme weather conditions. It says nothing will stop this fish kill unless we get proper river flows and water levels in our dams back up to normal. All right, there you go. Hosea prophecy, perhaps. Thousands of dead fish. Lots of mass die-offs. Now, I've covered this myself for years. We did a story on this last week or the week before about how it's still increasing to this day, mass animal die-offs. It's good to see more people are talking about the danger of 5G. I did a video on this myself. I'm grateful it went viral so a lot of people could see it. I had some good footage in there showing proof that around these 5G towers, plants and trees are dying around these things. 5G apocalypse. Scientists, environmental groups, doctors, and citizens around the world say stop this experiment on society. There you go. Research has shown that wireless radiation can cause DNA damage, neuropsychiatric effects, and other health problems. Even though the radiation associated with 5G technologies hasn't been investigated as extensively as that associated with current cell phone technologies, there is a substantial body of literature and evidence to indicate a significant impact of exposure on human health and development. Dr. Jerry Phillips, professor at Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry at University of Colorado, told Salon in an email, "Of concern here are not just the potential effects of 5G associated radiation, but what might result from the combined impact of 5G radiation with other sources of non-ionizing radiation in our environment. Certainly, a more careful and thorough assessment of the risks to human and environmental health are warranted. Anyway, the main point I wanted to share this is just so you know that it's not just some fringe, communities of people on YouTube that are concerned about this. There's a lot of people see what's coming. A lot of people are concerned about 5G and the effect it's going to have on humanity in general. Okay, another thing I wanted to share with you. Like I told you, I've been on a thing. I don't get into the political thing with this last week. I was on a thing, and I'm looking at kind of connections with the new Civil War coming, or a second Civil War coming, and I've been following that narrative. It's how my mind works. It's why I'll probably be doing a video soon on Civil War in America again, even though I've already covered that, but it's been a few years. We're really seeing this stuff ramp up now. Now they got 2 anti-American Muslims elected to Congress in immigration solutions. The 2 new Muslim House members from Michigan and Minnesota, Rashida Tlaib of Palestine and Ilhan Omar from Somalia, swore in on the Quran, which mandates its followers to destroy any government and any country that fails to subscribe to Islam. Let's read that again. The 2 new Muslim House members from Michigan and Minnesota, Rashida Tlaib of Palestine and Ilhan Omar from Somalia, swore in on the Quran, which mandates its followers to destroy any government and any country that fails to subscribe to Islam. Therefore, the U.S. House of Representatives features 2 Muslims bent on destroying our U.S. Constitution. In fact, Rashida Tlaib, upon becoming a House member, wrapped herself in a Palestinian flag and told a Muslim crowd that she was going to work to impeach President Trump with, quote, "We're going to impeach the mother effer." The other Muslim needed to divorce her brother because it's against American law to marry your brother. Of course, as a Muslim, she will work to install Sharia law so she can remarry him. I don't know about that. Maybe this is an editorial, so that might just be that guy's opinion, but still. Interesting. There we go. There we go. Now we're getting to some of the stuff. I like the weird stuff like this. Namibia. Goats killed by, quote, mysterious beast. Wait a second. Speaking of mysterious beast. Hi. Well, hi, Chubbs. How are you? Huh? Okay. We got a little something out of him. Didn't even have to squeeze his neck to get that one. That's good. I'm kidding, folks. I'm kidding. Residents of words I can't pronounce are left looking for answers after close to 30 goats were killed and their blood allegedly sucked out by unknown predators this month. The first incident was on 10th January 2019 when 18 goats were killed and the rest were attacked in the early hours of Friday morning. The goats killed on Friday morning belonged to Helena Amukanda and Linnea Aaron, and were killed in the same fashion as many others in the area since 2000. 12 of the goats were bitten in the neck and had broken jaws. Others had their knees injured. 2 goats died and 10 have holes in the neck and they're just salivating. We were told not to eat them and to kill the remaining 4 and burn them. The thing that killed the animals was apparently seen at the neighbor's house fighting with a dog. Those who have seen them said they look like black dogs. Maybe they're black dogs. Others had a knee bone fracture and a low jaw fracture, could not be treated. We told the family to kill the goats and burn the meat. All right. Anyway. And then there's some other related stories down here. What's sucking goat's blood in Ashaquito? Tourism ministry refuses to compensate loss by mystery predators. Mysterious beast kills, sucks blood of goats. And creatures continue nocturnal attacks. So this has been ongoing for quite a while, whatever they are. Whatever it is, they are. Man, check this out. This is crazy. experience a whole new level of entertainment. Sky Canvas, the world's first artificial shooting star project, aims to bring people all over the world together to witness an unprecedented collective experience. Using space as our stage, we will constantly strive to bring to life new levels of entertainment. We will use our technical expertise and know-how to contribute to the development of science. Just look at this. This is crazy. Artificial shooting star project, Sky Canvas. We aim to produce artificial shooting stars by projecting particles made out of special materials from orbiting microsatellites. When the particles re-enter the Earth's atmosphere, they burn through a process known as plasma emission, creating the appearance of shooting stars on the ground. Particles burn with a sufficient brightness to be visible by people in an area up to 200 kilometers in diameter. Wild, huh? I mean, what with all the so-called UFO sightings increasing over the last few years, you know, Project Bluebeam exists out there as well, and now you have Sky Canvas. Interesting, huh? And this is kind of along the lines with Sky Canvas, something else I kind of stumbled into I thought was interesting. Look at this. They're going to start putting billboards in space. All right, this is what they want to do. The orbital display. We are creating a media, the orbital display, with potential audience coverage of 7 billion people on the planet. The display orbits on 400 to 500 kilometer altitude and lets us deliver 3 to 4 images a day, having a viewable area of 50 kilometers to, whatever that is, using the sun as a light source. CPM is close to the price of the largest media channel in the industry. Here's a little video. Say hello to new media. Where apparently they're going to launch satellites, but there are no satellites. I know some of you don't believe in satellites, but here's what this company is putting a lot of money into. They say they're going to launch satellites, and then, whoa, they're going to set the world on fire? No, wait, that's not the message. But they're going to put billboards in space that said hello. So there. Pretty crazy, huh? Can you imagine, though? See, like, they got that simple cola. See that little thing right there? See over here, they got the W. Very, very interesting. Spanish city protests against too friendly devil sculpture. Again, this stuff is just manifesting out in the open more and more, right? Devil sculpture. A planned sculpture of Satan in the Spanish city of Segovia has been criticized for being too jolly. The bronze statue was created as a tribute to a local legend which says that the devil was tricked into building the city's famous aqueduct. But residents say that the devil, who is smiling and taking a selfie with a smartphone, looks too friendly. The artist told BBC News he was surprised by the level of criticism directed at his artwork. A judge has now ordered the artwork to be put on hold while he looks into whether it is offensive to Christians. There's the devil. He's a happy guy. Right? That's how they're portraying him, at least. It's a good dude, man. Means no harm, right? Right. There he is. Yeah. I'm not really going to read much on this. I just, again, you've heard me talk about this in the past. It's every time there's any kind of something with the moon or an asteroid, you'll see all the YouTube videos coming out, right? And even here in the Mirror, they kind of mock it. They always have these stories. Conspiracy theorists say the world could end like every freaking week. 2 or 3 of these stories from the Mirror. Conspiracy theorists say the world could end. It's every time, though, there's a super blood wolf moon. Anytime there's something with the moon or an asteroid, you'll see those videos on YouTube. Every time. Blood moon coming. Will the world end? Question mark. Here comes an asteroid. Into the world? Question mark. All the time. There you go. Super blood wolf moon. Into the world? Question mark. Bakeries making bread using crushed crickets, and people are disgusted. Sounds like something straight out of a bizarre Bush Tucker trial on I'm a Celebrity, whatever that is. But a bakery in Finland claims it tastes absolutely delicious. We're talking about a loaf of bread made from 70 crickets. Fazer Bakery in Finland is whipping up loaves of bread made using ground flour from dried crickets. The company imports the cricket flour from the Netherlands. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I thought that was kind of weird. It's not that weird. Probably, I don't know. Would you eat it? I don't know if it's... I don't know. Probably got a lot of protein. I don't know. They got people eating bugs. This is a really important story. Doctors warn against putting parsley into your to induce periods. Do ladies do this? I didn't know this was a lady thing. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. I'm not sure, but I missed this one. Marie Claire UK has been criticized by medical experts after the magazine published an article suggesting women can induce their periods by inserting parsley into their... The women's magazine owned by TI Media published an article on January 9th detailing techniques you can use to kickstart your period. That's about all of that I need. Anyway, I didn't know this was a thing. I am a man, so I don't have one of those down there, but if I did, I don't think I'd be shoving parsley into it. That's just me. Tip for the ladies there. If I had lady parts, I wouldn't be shoving parsley into them. I think here's a video we can watch together here. A lot of this activity happening lately, weird things happening on the ground and in the skies, mostly being blamed on transformers. You saw this in New York City, also in Louisiana. But here's a new one. Let's see if I can get this to play. Strange noise and eerie flashing lights in sky blamed on aliens. Okay, check it out. I'll replay it here.
¿Qué pedo? ¿Qué es eso? Chingados, güey. Sí. No, ¿qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso, güey? Que pensé que está explotando algo. Sí, parece, pero como que tienen dirección, pero... Sí, pero es más lejos. Es como cámara de luz.
See, and that just happened. Remember, we just had that similar thing happen in New York City, right? Like a week ago. Remember that? About a week ago? You're saying it was a transformer blowing? I'm watching all this stuff closely myself. It's a lot of strangeness happening here lately. All right. I'm not going to really read this. How the media convinces us we're all outraged even when no one cares, but it's a good article, I thought, in the New York Post. If you're interested, you can check that out. But it just goes back to what I'm saying. Again, everyone's outraged. Everyone's triggered. Everyone's going crazy, whether they actually are or not. But the media is portraying it like that, right? That we're all going crazy. We're all triggered. And the media, again, this is why I don't feed into a lot of this stuff. And I'm not into the left-right paradigm as much. I understand it's a control mechanism, and it's really activated right now. It's really working against us, and it's really pissing a lot of people off that are trapped in that left-right paradigm. Are you seeing it? But there's a lot going on with that narrative. As I said, it's also, I believe, potentially leading us up to a second civil war. They're starting to talk about, doxing, finding where people live, going to their homes, pushing violence. It's getting ugly, real ugly. I'll just do this in real quick since we're just talking about it. Same thing. Kathy Griffin calls for doxing students' identities after viral video at Native American March. Shame them. Again, it turned out the kids weren't guilty of anything, but you've got big celebrities like this pushing this narrative with their followers. Comedian Kathy Griffin claims she's on a kill list. She's on a kill list. Whatever. I think she's trying to put these young men on a kill list, or all these Catholic kids. But doxing their students' identities. Kathy Griffin, find out who these children are, right? Find out where they live. So we see, and again, we in this audience, in this community, we're looking beyond the narrative. We get it. We know the basic narrative, the left-right paradigm, etc. We're looking beyond that. But look at what we're seeing here. It's more of this push towards violence, right? Violence, doxing. It's a nasty business. Doxing, trying to find information on people and put it out there in public so other creepers and weirdos and freaks can get a hold of it. South Australia like hell. I just wanted to share some of these images. Due to record hot weather, they're having crazy heat. Record high temperatures in parts of Australia, including the states of New South Wales and Victoria, resulted in melting roads, the death of animals, and outbreaks of fires. Look at that picture, though. Wow. Look at this. Australia is struggling with the worst heat wave in the last 80 years and has been going on for 7 days. 49.1 degrees Celsius, 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Whoa. Tires and roads melted in the heat wave in Australia. Says this is what happened to a car tire in 49 degrees Celsius or 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Dang, look at that. Intense. Spider-Man Far From Home, first Marvel film to cast out trans actors, again pushing the trans stuff, right? More and more, even into the mainstream, further and further. So the new Spider-Man film will cast the first out trans actor, normalizing this again. At the same time attacking tops of the show. Man, there was a lot of distractions tonight for me on my end. But it looks like we made it through. And I'm over here now in the chat room, so it looks like we're still live. It looks like maybe you guys heard me. That's a good thing. So, all right. Looks like we made it. A full show. 2 hours and 18 minutes as of right now. Anyway, guys, hey, man, thank you, as always, once again, for being here, for checking out the show. Thanks for just rolling with me. As I've always said, there's no script here. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. Feels like there's always some kind of distraction over here on my end hitting me up, typically in the name of Chubbs. Big distraction for me, but he did pretty good tonight. Then we have the technical errors that happen from time to time on the show, and of course, friends bothering me, calling and texting while I'm doing a live show because none of them have any clue or don't really care what I do on YouTube. Most of the people that know me best, all they know is that I do something on YouTube. Like they really don't want to know much more. I've tried to get in some of the discussions with them, deeper things and whatnot. But, again, most of the people I know, my hometown and whatnot, not interested. They just don't care, especially my own family. So there you go. Good thing we got each other, right, guys? I'm right there with you. I know what it feels like when you try to talk to people about these kinds of things and they look at you like you're crazy, right? Anyway, man, hey, as always, too, thanks again. Like I said, checking it out. I got a video coming up. Should be ready tomorrow. I've been working on it for a bit. I'm excited about it. I think it's got some really good information, especially about a bunch of new movies coming out and some that are out now. I just saw Mr. Glass. That's going to be in this video as well. that there's a secret message contained in all of these films, the same secret message. I'll be doing a live show probably Friday or Saturday night. I'll post it up here on the channel over the next couple days, where we'll just hang out, man. I miss just hanging out with you guys, talking, seeing where you're at, seeing how you're feeling, what's on your mind. We can discuss anything you want to discuss. And it's been a while since we've done one of those, so I think that'd be nice to do again. So again, probably Friday or Saturday night. And that's it, man. Thank you so much, as always, to my supporters on Patreon and also my PayPal friends, guys. Thanks so much. I don't even bother monetizing these live shows anymore. Occasionally, I still get the videos monetized, though, on my channel, which is nice. So between that and Patreon, keeps me going, man. I never asked to be a millionaire at this, and I'm not. But I make enough to live, and it's all, thanks to you guys. Thanks so much, okay? And I can continue my work and my research and my shows, and we'll just keep evolving, man. Just keep growing, and hopefully reach more and more people and help them to wake up. And show them also that there's a community. There's a lot of people out there in the world that don't even know that we exist or other communities like ours exist. They see all the same things we do and they feel lost, So that's why I always say that the teacher always finds, or the student always finds their teacher. They will. They'll find me. They'll find you. They'll find the others. That's the time we're in. It really is, I feel, a dividing time. The sheep and the goats, the wheat and the tares. It's becoming very clear. There's a very obvious narrative playing out politically right now as well. Everyone's getting triggered. They're pushing this, man. And you see the dividing lines politically as well. And you can see how they want this chaos. It's order out of chaos is what the Illuminati or the shadow controllers are into, right? So they want more chaos. They want destruction. They want doom. But we can't give it to them. We got to, the way I see it, okay? Some of you don't believe how I do, but I'm trying to follow the ways of Christ the best I can. I'm trying to stay focused on my relationship with the Almighty, my Heavenly Father. I'm trying to be the best example I can be. And, it's a day-by-day process. So we try. We do what we can do. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank God for you guys. I mean it. Thanks for the community. You help me. I get a lot of my story ideas from you. I also don't feel so crazy being surrounded by other people who have open minds like mine. And we question these things. It's not like we're all a bunch of robots and believe exactly alike. It's what I love about this community. I'm very grateful for this. I'm very grateful for you. So thank you. Thanks for being a part of it. Thanks for talking to us, sharing your point of view, your opinion. Know you're not alone. We're all in this together, okay? So I got some bigger videos coming, man. I really do. Things are really shaping up. Again, I'm not a minister, pastor, preacher, priest. I do love God. I love Jesus. I believe Jesus. You got to get to the Father through the Son. As the Bible says, if you don't have Christ in your life, you don't even believe in God, please, please seek him out. Please. Otherwise, none of this means anything. It's just, it's entertainment. It's just entertainment. If you don't know God, if you don't have Jesus Christ, please, guys, please. Consider accepting Christ as your personal Lord and Savior. Get that connection to our Heavenly Father, filled with the Holy Spirit, and you're going to see all this. You'll see it even more clear than before. Build that relationship with God on your own. You don't have to go into a confessional booth to tell somebody all the dirty deeds you've done and all the dirty deeds you're doing, because we all do dirty deeds. We've all done dirty deeds. We're all filth in that respect. We're broken. And that's why this world, I believe, needs God, needs Jesus. I'll leave it on that, man. That's it. I love you guys, man. Seriously, thank you. And keep your peepers peeled for the next video and the next show we'll do here in a few days. And until then, y'all take care of yourself, okay? And I'll talk to you a little later.